Welcome to The Bond, the show that connects you to nature. And one thing about nature is understanding the best way to connect to your family that you have at home. It's all about creating memories and having heart to welcome in new members of your family. One member might be a dog. So whether you've gone to a breeder or you've gone to a shelter or just got a dog from a local friend that had a litter, you may need to know the best set of tools to master so that you can be the trainer. And in that same vein, I wanted to share with you a new jewel that's been found in Orange County, and that's Kaiden Laird's company, No Paws Like Home. And today we are going to have a conversation with him and see a little bit of a demo on how to interact with a dog with the right training. He can help you to train your own dog. So Kaiden, I'd like to say thank you so much for coming by the studio and also for bringing a wonderful specimen. Now, I understand that there's various intelligence characteristics that are with each breed. And the dog that you have is part poodle, which is one of the most intelligent breeds out there. So could you tell me a little bit about your wonderful poodle here and tell me about what she can do?
All right, yeah. So this is Orphic. Very weird name. I did not get to pick it. Some people also just call her Bunny because she likes to hop when she has a toy.
Oh, that's adorable.
She is a very, very intelligent dog. She picks up on things very quickly. However, if I make a mistake, she picks up on it incredibly easy. So it can be a little bit hard training an intelligent dog. Intelligence isn't always easier.
Okay.
But she knows how to sit, lay down, give a paw, retrieve my phone anywhere in my house, pick up miscellaneous objects, make eye contact, and then of course she knows how to walk on a leash properly.
Well, if you're saying picking up miscellaneous objects, what kind of objects?
It can be anything that she can physically carry pretty much. So it can be bowls, phones, keys, random objects around the house, tissues, toys.
Could I put her to the test?
Sure.
Are you ready for the challenge? Bunny, are you ready for the challenge? Okay. You ready? Okay. I happen to have a wonderful, I believe this is a 40-ounce insulated mug. And this particular one happens to be empty, so I'm being very easy on her, but it's got a great little shoulder strap, nice adjustable strap. I'm going to be swinging this over here. So now, can she get that and either retrieve it to you or to me?
Yeah, we can give it a shot.
Okay. Okay, so she's sensing it. Oh, she figured out how to get it by the strap.
Oh,
okay, that's excellent. That's excellent. Now, I wonder, would you mind if I fed her a little something?
Well, depends.
Would that be okay?
It's dog safe.
Well, I don't know. It's a strawberry. I happen to have one here. It's a nice red strawberry. I just went to the fruit market the other day, and I happened to stop by a fruit stand. I'm seeing that she's very
You're
focused.
welcome to give it to her.
Are you sure I can give it to her?
I'm sure.
Okay, here you go.
She's a big fan of
Oh,
strawberries.
that's wonderful. I see she's eating it with gusto. And while she's eating it, I want to ask you a little bit about what your opinion is on, oops. Yes, that's your own doggy bag. I wanted to ask you about the theory of play as it pertains to dog training. Could you explain a little bit about how that is actually effective? It's not wasting time.
Of course. Play is so important in order to help a dog bond with you and give them a mental break. Just like when you were in school, if someone just jams something in your head over and over and over again, you're going to start messing up things that you knew when you woke up that morning. You're going to get so overwhelmed with information.
Right, and you just shut down mentally.
Exactly. And play is such a fun way to break up training. There's actually been some new studies that came out that show that taking a play break, either after or in the middle of training, can help the dog memorize and process everything that they just learned with you.
Really? So you could train a new trick and then say, okay, now we're done working. No more of that routine stuff. Now let's go play catch.
Exactly. It's a great way to give them a break and let them process everything they just took in.
Really? Okay. So why do you have her trained to always look at you?
Simply because I want her to know that I am the most important thing in her environment. No offense, but a little bit over you.
No, that's all right. That's all right. It's all about bonding. So you've learned how to bond with your dog.
Exactly.
And so you can teach those skills to other people too, right?
Of course. I want you to be the most important thing to your dog. I want you to be their safe place, their fun, their comfort, their everything pretty much. And when you have a bond like that, you don't need something like a leash. The leash is just there for safety. It shouldn't be the only thing controlling your dog. Your bond should be the most important thing.
I see. So tell me about how difficult it is or how easy it is to bond with a dog that I got from a shelter versus from a reputable breeder. Is there a difference or?
Definitely.
Okay.
It can be so different. If you go to a ethical breeder and they health test the parents, they raise the litter properly with things like puppy culture, early neurological stimulation, they're completely healthy. They are just sponges ready to attach to you the second that you get there. Once you are there, they're in your house, they're like, okay, you're amazing. And that's great. And then you're just best buds from then on. But when you get a shelter dog, there can be so many additional layers. Dogs can hold on to trauma just like people. I've had to go through hurdles as a trainer of rescue dogs being afraid of specifically men.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, from a possible abuse that they had in the past?
From possible abuse or just never knowing a decent guy in their household. Dogs can be so affected mentally, and it can change how they can bond with someone. They're not just a sponge that's going to say, okay, with everything that happens.
Right.
They have a history. They remember things. So it can take a while. There's actually something called a 3-3-3 rule when it comes to rescuing a dog.
What is 3-3-3? It sounds like something I should know.
It only matters if you're adopting a dog. But it goes a little something like this, where the first 3 days when you bring a rescue dog home, they're going to be very shut down. They're going to be scared. They're going to be uncomfortable. They're wondering where they are. Now, at that 3-week point, this is when they start to burst out of that little shell. They get more comfortable with you. They get a bond. They start realizing that they're in a safe environment. And then at that 3-month part, that's when you can actually see your dog's full personality. They're not afraid of things as much. They know that you are their person. They know that they're there for good. And they start to open up a heck of a lot more.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what your perspective is on using different types of language and tones with a dog. Like I've heard of baby talk and and I've also heard of very commanding, very sharp types of tones, and it almost doesn't matter what you're saying, it's really your tone. Are they responding to the actual words Or are they responding to tone?
Dogs, more often than not, respond to the things that we aren't even paying attention that we're doing. The tone makes a big difference, and your body language makes such a big difference. Just like if, let's say, you left your dog at home, they stole a pound of butter or a light bulb off the table. I've heard of both of those things. The butter was actually my dog. But
did they want to screw, how many dogs does it take to screw in a light bulb? Or
well, apparently it doesn't work anymore if the light bulb's broken.
I see.
You get home and you notice the dog immediately gets nervous. They try to give you kisses. They try to run away a little bit.
Are they feeling guilty?
Not at all. They're picking up on your body language of them knowing that something went wrong.
Oh.
They don't know what's okay, what's not. They know not to eat the butter when you're in the room, but it's a different story when you're gone. But by walking home and just going, they immediately pick up on that and they know that something is wrong. They know that they did something wrong and something is happening. So your tone in your body language has such a large impact on a dog and how comfortable they feel with you.
I see. So going away a little bit from your tone, I noticed that she has a beautiful collar on her, and I don't want to be too much of a fashionista here, but what is your opinion on dressing dogs up in clothes, like frou-frou clothes, or just dressing up as like a different animal, or taking them to the groomers and giving her stripes so she looks like a tiger? What are your thoughts on that?
As long as the dog is okay with it, I have no issues. Not her, but I have a little 10-pound terrier mutt named Bailey.
At home?
Okay. And he loves jammies.
Really?
You bring out a little t-shirt for him right now. He's probably wearing two hedgehogs kissing each other.
Oh.
But if you bring out clothes for him, he gets excited. He wants to wear it. He comes over. He puts it on. He loves being warm and cozy and feeling wrapped around. Now for
does he have
her,
like matching hat and sunglasses or anything?
He's not a big fan of the hats and sunglasses.
Okay.
But now for her, she hates anything that she has to wear. Absolutely. She doesn't like clothes. She doesn't really like being covered in blankets. She likes to be out about and not covered by anything. So as long as the dog is okay with it, then go for it. As long as you're using dye that's safe for the dog, the dog's having a good time, truly you can do whatever you want.
So it really depends on the personality of the dog more so than the breed as far as what it's appropriate. So do you think that there are certain characteristics that are inherent in each breed, or do you think that any dog of any breed can learn anything?
I agree with both of those statements.
That's a dichotomy.
Breeds can have a lot of breed traits, but not every single dog will follow their breed traits.
Their instincts.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like poodles are very smart. They love water. They have big fluffy coats, and they're very judgmental. If you mess up,
are they a little snobby?
If you mess up with training, they will stare at you thinking, "Ha, you did that wrong," and they just will ignore you all day. They're very one person. But I've also known poodles that are very forgiving. I've known poodles that don't like the water. I've known poodles that aren't sensitive at all, and they are just happy-go-lucky all the time, and they don't really care about what's happening in the environment. They love brushes. Like for her, it's a battle trying to brush her. It is a negotiation every single time. She doesn't like to have brushes on her. She doesn't like to wear clothes.
No?
She's very physically sensitive in that sense. But I've known poodles who aren't.
So why is it most poodles are sculpted when they're groomed? Why is it you decided not to sculpt Orphic or Bunny?
Simply put, I don't want to brush her.
Oh, I see.
So I keep her short. Mats are little bundles of hairs that can occur. They can go on the face, they can go on the armpits, and they can cause a lot of physical irritation. However, I don't like brushing my dog, and she doesn't like being brushed either. So instead, I keep her short so she never mats. And then whenever her coat gets too long, I shave it all off before mats form, before anything forms.
So that's just a personal choice. It had nothing to do with making a statement.
Exactly. No, not at all.
Because sometimes people say that fashion makes a statement. And so if she doesn't have little puffy balls around her feet, then what is she really saying? So that's not the case. Why is it that poodles have a reputation for being very particular and sort of haute couture? Why is that? Can they be rough? Can they be hunting dogs?
Oh yeah, poodles first and foremost are bred to retrieve fowl, and they are the #1 police dog in Europe. Not
Really?
German Shepherds, not Malinois like it is in America.
Right, and
poodles.
And Malinois are taught in Belgium, right? So you have to know those commands in Belgium if you have them trained, or
They can know any language.
Can they be commanded in English?
They can be commanded in English. It's just about what you teach the dog. For her, she knows a little bit of German, just because I want her
She knows
to know
German.
Yes, I don't know a lot. I only know the commands that she knows. But she knows a little bit of German, so she knows that Platz means to lay down.
Oh, okay.
Means to lay down.
Okay.
Sitzen means to sit.
Okay, okay.
But for her, I've taught her those words in other languages. She wasn't born knowing them, of course.
Oh, was she born in Germany? So what are your thoughts on getting dogs and dog trainers from other countries?
I think it can be so fun and amazing. You need to, of course, be able to communicate with your trainer. So as long as there's no language barrier, go for it. I know that people have different training styles based on the country. Like there are some countries where e-collars and prong collars or pinch collars are banned entirely. They're labeled abusive. And I know other countries that live by those tools and they use them 24/7. So there might be
sliding choke collars.
Exactly.
And stuff.
So there might be differences in how they treat dogs per culture. But if you have a trainer that you love and that dog loves the trainer, then you should be okay.
What do you think about somebody that says, I really only want to have a dog that, well, there's two people. One would be somebody that says, I just want a dog to be my friend. And the other one says, I want a dog that I bring around to shows. And shows can be very stressful, not only the travel, but you have a whole bunch of other dogs around you and all that. So how do you address those two different types of clients?
It's all about picking a dog whose personality would thrive in that environment.
Okay.
Like I have one dog that I'm helping right now. Her name is Delilah.
Oh,
she did not
that's
look
delightful.
like a husky. She did not. She doesn't look like a husky at first when I first got her, but she's slowly looking more and more like a husky.
Okay.
And some are those personality traits. She loves to run. She loves to do her own thing. She loves to not be told what to do and just wants to exist and pull and run and frolic and do whatever she wants.
Oh.
And that's great.
That's what I want to do.
Exactly. But she also lives in a apartment complex.
Ah.
So
nothing
frolicking. Wrong with Delilah. Nothing wrong with the apartment complex. But we're running into a little bit of an issue because she can't just frolic around the apartment complex.
Right. That makes sense.
So it's just all about getting the dog for what you want to do.
Now, does that mean that in that situation, would you help them find like a park that's near where they live so they can go ahead and have those frolicking times out in a safe environment?
Definitely.
Maybe not where the landlord will find them, but be able to exercise so that they release that pent up energy.
Exactly. One of my favorite training tools ever is a 50-foot leash.
A 50-foot leash.
A 50-foot leash. This guy is only 6.
Okay.
But you put a 50-foot leash on the dog. It doesn't matter if the dog knows come. It doesn't matter if there are cars around because you are physically safe with that dog. They are tethered to you, but they can experience life just like an off-leash dog. They can have fun. They can frolic. They can run as far as their heart contents. You can even get 100 feet once. Okay. But just giving dogs opportunities to do what they were bred for will make the dog happier, and it will help them. It will really just help them listen to you if their needs are being met.
So when do you learn, how do you transition from a voice command to a gesture, like what you're doing? You're pointing and she just lay down. So can you show me other gestures that she knows?
Definitely. First off, dogs are visual learners and not auditory learners. We always work with the visual aspect first. So a couple of hand commands that she knows is that she knows this one.
Is that a high five?
That was a touch command.
I see.
And then I asked her to sit. I can ask her to give me a paw. I can ask her to lay back down.
Oh, she's a little...
and I can ask her to stay, all with a hand command. Dogs are visual learners, not auditory. It's a very advanced skill for a dog to know how to do everything with just the use of your voice.
Well, then, if they can learn gestures, does that mean that they can also learn to read? If you held up a sign
Yes.
that says bark or sit down or sit or something, would they, maybe, I'm not saying that they would turn into avid readers and, like teen fiction or anything, but would they be able to discern that these shapes on this piece of paper mean that I should do that?
Yes, very easily. A lot of people are even doing something called button training, where they put specific words and when they press the button it says the word, and they're teaching the dog what words mean, all the way from dad, mom, outside, tired, hungry, when are we going outside, what is dad doing, all the way into question formats. And the dogs are easily picking up on it. The average dog can learn about 300 words or so. So really the sky's the limit.
So what is your thought on button training? Because obviously if I'm recording a voice that's triggered when a button is pushed, it's going to sound tinny and mechanical. It's not going to sound like me.
The buttons actually record your voice, and then they play it back.
But even if it records my voice, it's still not as good as the real thing.
Of course.
Right? This is my voice. It's not a recorded facsimile. So what are your thoughts? Is it effective?
Yes, it's all...
So does that mean the dog can talk to me? The dog can ask me a question?
It's so the dog can talk to you back, because they don't have the vocal cords for it, but that doesn't mean they don't have the intelligence to talk to you back.
I see. So I'm recording my voice with simple one-word commands on all these different buttons. The dog learns which button triggers which word, and then it can ask me a sentence.
Exactly. And they can learn all of that, and dogs aren't born knowing what sit means, what down means. We just teach them what the human word is for something that they can do. So if she knows to sit her butt on the floor, I say the word sit, and I just teach her that those mean the same things. So you can teach them that with buttons, you can teach them with hand commands. It just means this means that. That's all you're trying to communicate to the dog.
So another language, like a Rosetta Stone that sort of communicates all the different languages. Excellent. Well, I wanted to say thank you so much for stopping by. And I wanted to address our wonderful audience, because what we learned today with Kaiden is that dogs are so varied. Not only are they intelligent, but they are emotional beings that can really be aware and pick up on clues that maybe you don't realize you're giving. We learned that they can not just learn basic commands, but their intelligence spectrum reaches all the way to learning how to even possibly read or communicate with you through your voice being recorded on a button. It's been a really fascinating tour that we've had with Kaiden, and I would love to have him back and learn a little bit more about different aspects of this way to bond with your family dog. And if you don't have a family dog, you might want to think about either reaching out to a reputable breeder or your local shelter in order to bring home a new member of the family. And with that, and with heart and with appreciation, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us with Kaiden Laird of No Paws Like Home. We want to make sure that you know how to reach out to him and that he does have some technical tools that he can help you with, even if you are not in the Orange County area. And so with that, I wanted to say thank you, and until we bond again,